Some of you have created an attachment to someone that doesn't even exist. It's a version of them that you're just waiting around for because you firmly believe in this idea of who someone could be. So you make excuses for them with the hope and conviction that they'll eventually catch up to your fantasy. They've never demonstrated that they are the upstanding person you believe they can be. But the potential is so clear in your eyes that to you, it's only a matter of time. You become emotionally invested in this new and improved future being. The decisions you make, what you entrust them with, are all based on someone you've conjured up instead of the person that they have been and who they currently are. So then when they fail you, you feel disappointed because you based your expectations on wishful thinking. Last episode, we talked about what some of you are doing, which is making excuses for the poor behavior of others. And now the question is, why do you feel that you need to protect this person, even when the facts are right in front of you? Are you concerned with how people perceive you, or are you trying to run cover because you know that if anyone knew just how badly you were being treated, they would pressure you to cut ties? We're all flawed, so there's no way that we are going to handle every scenario perfectly. And I'm all for optimism, but hanging on to someone's good moments for dear life in order to carry you through the person's multiple disappointments isn't sustainable and doesn't justify coming up with excuse after excuse for abysmal behavior. These rationalizations are a coping mechanism, and you're using them to create a barrier between what is actually happening and what you're willing to admit. There's a difference between wanting someone to grow and basing your emotional investment and well-being on the belief that they will. Ongoing misjudgments eventually turn into avoidance. It's hard to admit that you ignored clear patterns because doing so forces you to look at how much leniency you gave someone who didn't deserve it. That awareness breeds discomfort. So it's easier to maintain the narrative that things still might improve. There's a grieving process when you have to confront some ugly truths regarding someone you care about. But instead of handling the pain that comes along with that acknowledgement, you choose to protect the fantasy instead. After a while, the excuses aren't even about shielding the other person or the perception of others. They're about protecting you from recognizing you. Keep excusing someone who continues to let you down. Justifications are also about preserving your connection to the person. You want to guard the role that they play in your life, even when that role consistently costs you emotional stability. It feels simpler to tolerate erratic behavior when you know it's only temporary, because temporary pain feels more manageable than permanent agony. So you attach yourself to the notion that things will improve if you just endure a little longer, even though with disrespectful people, a little longer is rarely ever a little longer. You bargain with yourself and are fixated on the way life could look, if only. I'm not asking for a lot. I'd be happy if only they were accountable, if only they were considerate, if only they were respectful toward my thoughts and feelings. And you convince yourself that once the difficulty passes, things will naturally align into something more stable, even though there is no reliable track record of that shift ever happening. Recognizing the truth is especially threatening when someone is deeply woven into your life, so much so that they're a part of your identity. A best friend, husband, parent, etc. If you face who they actually are, what does that mean for the future of your relationship? Because once the blatant reality is out there, you can't unsee it. You might be protecting someone by over-attributing their behavior to emotional or psychological explanations that pardon accountability. Some people have real emotional or psychological issues that do require professional support. What I'm really referring to here is bratty behavior that you defend as hurt people. As someone who's been in a bad mood for most of my life, I can tell you, treating other people poorly because of your frustration and pain, then writing it off as just a part of your personality isn't acceptable. Sometimes behavior is just behavior, and assigning a deeper meaning is a way of ignoring the hurt that it causes. It's also unfair to you to hold someone to a standard they have never reached, only to be hurt every time they don't. Compassion is an admirable trait, but without discernment alongside it, it becomes easy for ill-intentioned people to take advantage of it. And in doing so, you neglect your own heart. You can believe that someone is capable of change without forming your emotional stability around the possibility that they eventually will. You can also understand where someone's coming from and still see that the way they handle their challenges is inexcusable and not representative of the way you deserve to be treated. If you enjoyed the episode, please like and subscribe on YouTube. Leave a 5-star rating on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at @VersionsOfOurselvesPod. And I'll see you next time for part 3.